to Hart versus Jim on Belcher Vestige.
Yeah, it's so funny because that has happened multiple times to me. It's like you lose a couple of games and you get kind of mad, and I send out, the probe to just proxy my second pilot. I was like, "Hey, Roddy, I love your casting." I was like, "Okay, probe, back to base."
And then inevitably that guy is like forgetting you or something.
Yeah,
It's like proxy or cannon rush.
That has happened multiple times as well. Anyway, it's all part of the game.
I would say 6 out of 10 times when somebody has like addressed me in chat, like as if they recognize my name, they've been cheesing me. I'm just like, oh, you're a terrible person.
Anyway, guys, it's time for our final series of the day. Axiom's Heart is our blue Terran player spawning on the left top side of the map, fighting for Total Biscuit and all the other good things.
Gas first here for Hart. What in the world are you going to do with that? Down in the bottom right
Probably just early Reaper now.
is the opponent of Hart, the red Protoss player from China, Invictus Gaming's Jim.
We saw Jim getting a little adventurous today as well with his PvT openings. I definitely think the way that he opened on Ekland Waste wasn't necessarily the best idea, but perhaps he watched the replay of Minigun against Neep, and he was like, Minigun won game number 3 with Zealot, Stalker, and Mothership Core. I'm going to try to do the same. It didn't really work out that way. Neep has definitely took the necessary precautions against that opening against Protoss, as it didn't work out that fantastic either for Hero. Hero played against Hart, never mind. Either way, Neep was ready, man. But it wasn't enough.
Barracks finishing up right now for Hart, and will it be a fast Reaper or will it be something else?
He has too much gas, so it will probably be a really quick factory.
That's what I'm thinking too.
He didn't proxy anything though, so it's not going to be a proxy factory, right, man? Right?
Right, little SCV. And of course we are. Correct, factory goes down right there in the main base. And we still aren't sure exactly what this is shaping up to be. I can't really imagine a Banshee opening right now, but Widowmine's very possible. There's the reactor, so I think you're right on. Hellion openings are also possible, although maybe not so common these days. I think Hellion openings are very good in TVP.
Definitely, because there are a lot of builds where the amount of gateway units is very limited. And then if you have 4 Hellions somewhere, it just takes a long time to even kill those 4 Hellions. And of course, you can rely on Photon Overcharge, but it also means if you had probes already in Natural, you're going to have to send them back to the base where you can defend them, which also means that they're going to line up. It's all a little risky. I definitely think that Hellion openings are still a scary thing to deal with, man, so you're not alone in this.
It's a 1 gate fast expand here for Jim's. Mothership Core is out. We see no units crossing the map, no craziness on the way for Jim yet. I don't even think he made the Zealot, did he? No, he did not. So he's just relying on Mothership Core and Stalkers in the early game. It is actually Hellions on the way for Hart.
I hope that Jim is not going to drop the Stargate like he often does, but I don't think that would be a very good solution. Like, Phoenixes can definitely be very good against builds like this, but you have to get your Stargate ASAP and immediately get enough Phoenixes so you can actually kill the medevac, lift up those Hellions. If he drops the Stargate right now, I'm kind of worried for Jim, because I'm afraid that he might not have enough DPS to actually deal with these Hellions in time.
And I think Time Warp also is pretty ineffective against Hellions in general, just because they're still fast.
Yeah, you want to use Photon Overcharge. There's no way you have energy for both. And
first 2 Hellions are going to reveal themselves. They're going to run right past this Mothership Core, which hates
and
rocks.
This normally might not be the best solution. Right now it is. The only thing there is over here to shoot at these Hellions is this one Stalker. Jim is in trouble, and Jim is going to lose quite a few probes. He's going to use Photon Overcharge right now in his main. Sure, that's fine. He kills these Hellions. Not before still losing 4 probes. More Hellions already on the way. Stalker's out of position. And this is just the beginning.
Yes, sir. Some more probes will be roasted, and this Hellion opening proving to pay for itself already. 6 probes killed in total. And I think it's going to continue. Oh, actually, he's pushing with Marines, too.
No Photon over. The good thing is, though, that Oracle has crazy DPS against this little army. Maybe.
Wow, Oracle's a really smart choice here. It's going to do extra bonus damage against both the Hellions and the Marines. It's really fast.
That's correct.
That's going to help. I love that. I would not have anticipated that.
If he sends it across the map, he might be able to do something with it as well. But I think really he's going to need it defensively, because he doesn't have a lot of DPS. Where is that Oracle, Jim? It is still at home. It's in his main. He's going to see the entire army right now in his natural, and he's probably going to bring those Stalkers and the Oracle. But is he going to do it before losing these units or not?
Probes have not been pulled. More Stalkers coming down. Here comes the Oracle. It will charge up and start attacking these Marines and Hellions.
And you know, Jim does this pretty good. I'm impressed, man. I don't know how Jim does it, because I would have lost like 18 probes by now. But, you know, this didn't turn out all that bad.
Is this a Banshee follow-up for a Heart? What a crazy, aggressive bit of gameplay here from our Terran player. He's expanding now behind this.
I'm not sure how I feel about that Banshee.
It's no cloak too, right?
No, it's not a cloak Banshee.
So just a regular old Banshee to deal with.
I mean, this forces him to even do more economic damage. Of course, it's going to make things harder on Jim, but Jim will have another photon overcharge pretty soon. Here come 3 Hellions, though. These 3 Hellions might be able to kill quite a few probes.
2 or 3 more probe kills immediately, and that medevac will pick up and fly away. Meanwhile, Banshee in the main base. This is great work by Heart, spreading Jim out, forcing him to be at multiple positions at any given time. One Oracle is going to cross the map, and it's going to be met with a Viking. So it's not going to be a happy little Oracle.
Stalkers are here in position as well. Jim doing this great. Actually uses Envision preemptively, which he didn't have to do that. Because there's no cloak.
Here's the Oracle in the main base. It's going to immediately roast
God, I'm really impressed with
SCVs.
how this has went so far for Jim. I cannot believe he didn't take more damage than he did, and right now he's actually on the other side of the map killing units.
Wow, 10 kills on that Oracle. That's unbelievable.
And Jim is in a great... This is kind of bizarre. We have the Hellions once more unloading in the back of the Natural, but Photon Overcharge being casted, focusing the medevac as well. Jim, I love it. Why did he just do everything correct, Jim?
Yeah, just so sick, man. A super aggressive opening here from Heart, and at the end of all of it, once the dust is settled and the players have stabilized, it's 39 probes to 26 SCVs. Jim has a much faster expansion. He's now got Phoenixes out to deal with any additional drops or Banshee play. He's got absolute control of, I guess, the game. He's just going to go ahead and sacrifice this Oracle. Just out of range of the Widow Mine, but boom, down it goes.
But not before still killing, what was that?
Grand total of 12 SCVs were killed.
I think 4 additional SCVs. So it wasn't really for nothing either. At the same time, he had an Oracle in the Natural as well. That one flew straight into this mineral line while only killing a single SCV. So that's definitely nice for Heart. Heart finally catching sort of a break over there, killing both Oracles while only losing 4 or 5 additional units. He did lose that Banshee over here, I believe, as these Phoenixes chased it down.
But now the problem is Jim is making that transition into Phoenix Colossus that we know him for.
And this is hard enough to deal with if you're on even economic terms, or perhaps even slightly ahead. How are you going to deal with it when you're behind, when you don't have the money to throw down double starport?
I got to be honest, Kev. I don't understand how Phoenix Colossus works so well. I think if it's me running around with Phoenixes and Colossi, I just die.
To what?
Just to better positioning, I guess, to units that kill my stuff. But Jim handles it pretty well.
I mean, Colossus are very, very strong against pretty much everything that Terran has other than Vikings.
Right.
Or Marauders if they're able to connect, but you know that's not easy. So it makes sense that you get Phoenixes against all these Vikings. It is pretty smart. There's always a small window, in my opinion, where I wouldn't say it's vulnerable, but on maps like this where it's a little harder to protect 3 bases than it is, for instance, on Achelan, I think it can be hard in a certain phase in the game. But right now we shouldn't forget that Jim has actually had a way better economy than Heart, despite losing 17 probes, because yes, that is what happened. So right now you should actually have an easier time than normally.
We should definitely acknowledge the fact that Jim never skips this double observer, and he always sees this army movement so that he's not caught off guard by backstabs or sneaky little attacks to pick off expansions. So great job by Jim getting those observers out and in position. He's got great vision of the army of Heart, and has had no trouble at all just positioning appropriately to deal with it.
He's also never putting them on patrol. Like, he could see a little more with patrol, but it also makes it a lot easier for the Terran to spot them.
Right, and I think that's maybe brilliant. We always talk about how important it is to patrol observers in airspace, but when you're over just the broken or normal terrain like that, that extra movement means it might be scanned. Heart's going to catch it anyway, just showing how good of a player he is.
Double force going down for Jim. Still no additional command center, by the way, on the way for Heart.
Yeah, and I think that makes it so hard for him. He's already down in army
supply. He's going to be able to run into the Netro over here. Photon Overcharge being cast immediately. There was a he's kind of in this. He's like, no. This is my moment. No, it's not my moment. It's still your moment, man. Just
Carbot Colossus. He's just like leaning over and looking down at those Marines. You get out of here. I like how everything is just associated with Carbot now.
Yeah.
We really need a Carbot skin pack.
Yeah, display StarCraft in Carbot mode. Man, Ultras would be fun. With their hanging tongue.
Yeah.
Like doggy. Jim just looking rock solid right now. When second star put going down. This is kind of like what Hard was doing against Hero. But back then the game was going a lot better for Hard than this game has been going. You know, it sounds crazy because you say he killed 19 workers. That's pretty good. Well, his command center was so late and he was never able to kill the crippling amount of workers.
Right.
That's really slowed Jim's economy down. Like, he definitely killed workers here and there, but it was never that much that the mineral line was completely exposed and, you know, he had free reign over it. Jim played a really good game, and while being economically behind, I think you're going to have a nightmare dealing with Colossus Phoenix.
Yep.
The best thing he can hope for is for like one crazy attack with a lot of Vikings, focus down the Colossus immediately, never put your money into expensive units like Ghost, just purely Marine Bio, hope you kill the Colossus and hope your Marine Bio kills everything else, and this should all happen of course before Storm. And, you know, this is not an impossible scenario, it's just a little unlikely, but it's not impossible.
Not impossible, but certainly very difficult. Jim's got everything going for him. He's even starting to round out his tech with more and more upgrades. Air attack and charge, both being researched now. I mean, Jim's at 170 supply. This is that point where that Protoss army becomes truly formidable.
Like, what is definitely necessary for Hard is that Hard is going to need the right amount of Vikings. Okay, here comes the massive SCV pool. And I am not sure, Ben, if he has enough Vikings. Right now he has 13 Vikings. And, you know, like 13 Vikings is a pretty reasonable number. But he's going up against 12 Phoenixes. There will be force fields. The only way that Hard can win, if all of his Vikings somehow kill the Colossus, and his bio units are still alive, and his bio units win him the game. And I don't think that 13 Vikings is going to do it.
Again, good thing, having things in position allows Jim to see where this army's coming from. Hart's going to scan right on top of it. He's even going to see these hallucinations. That'll help a little bit. But, well, here we go, the old fight. Phoenixes are doing some pretty good work here against these Vikings. Man, the Viking count is dropping so incredibly fast. It's a little bit hard to decipher what's happening here, but with Time Warp on the low ground, I think Jim's going to be just fine. This looks almost one-sided. The Vikings are all gone. Plenty of Colossi still alive. And Jim wins that with more than double the supply of Hart left.